Yeah, yeah, hey, yeah, hey, yeah, hey, yeah. Turning up, this is how it starts. Live moments created hard. From small town stages to the mainline drives. Dog danced in the am, John Candy live. If it's live, we bring the vibe. This is John Candy live. If it's live, we bring the vibe. This is John Candy live.
Full on.
Oh yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah, it's
I'm thinking now I need to actually save my money instead of spending it.
well, yeah, you could have all this and have this like for I don't even want to know. I don't want to know how much I spent on this stuff, to be completely honest. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun though, but I end up having like two of everything. I have like two of these and I have I would see that's the thing I screwed up and I didn't buy like the laptop I should have bought right off the bat.
Oh yeah, that's the curse
I
too.
was like, oh, I'll get this one, just a budget one. And then I was like, well, shoot, it doesn't even run the program I want it to run. And then so I ended up buying the
Dang, it's a Mac. I didn't
different one.
realize.
Yeah,
That's shocking. Usually they Macs don't run anything.
yeah. So this is like the 2025 latest greatest whatever whatever,
Oh yeah.
and it runs great. So
Okay.
fortunate there. So I mean, it is what it is. We have to spend money to make it work good.
Exactly. Okay, so if I mess up, or is this going to be edited at all, or is it straight shoot?
Whatever we want. If we need to edit something, we can. It's
Okay,
totally.
I'll try. I've never really I always do my edit, so I think I'm good at talking, but I might mess up here or there, so I'll just repeat myself.
It's nope. Like I said, it's see right now. They do the same thing. It's whatever it needs to be. It is.
Okay,
So it's don't feel any pressure. That's we can do live stuff, and I'm totally cool with it. But like Jimmy, my buddy that
yeah.
I podcast with, he's like,
It's hard too
no
because
live.
you can't really save the lives in the best quality. Like if you want to clip, I mean, you can clip it, but it's a little bit hard unless you're doing like Twitch or like even YouTube. I know
Yeah,
Facebook is like, don't even try.
don't even try. Yeah, that's why I always so in the broadcasting stuff, I always record it, and I'm streaming through. I have this whole other streaming system that
Dang.
has its own cellular modems, and there's like five different things that go into this little box right here. Five different internet sources, just so the stream doesn't drop.
Oh,
So it's like that. Plus, it's recorded. I put it all recorded on external hard drive, so it's got like
that's cool.
everything. So, and this is perfect. Like we're already rolling into the podcast.
Oh,
So
we are?
yeah, it's
Okay,
recording and we're going.
perfect.
So that's like the perfect little free stuff. And
There we
welcome,
go.
welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm pretty excited. I like to talk, so this is perfect.
Yeah, this is our first time. My first time having somebody other than RC racing here. We do still have an RC racing banner. We raced this race last week, but I feel like gotta have something back there. So we're gonna have a John Candy Live one coming soon, and we're
Cool.
gonna have all kinds of stuff. We'll put Simpkins Racing on the banner, and we'll
Let's
all
go.
all the
You're,
guests and all the people that come support this. It's gonna go on there.
you're gonna have to get a wall of drivers and people to sign.
Absolutely, yeah. Or get the banner and like when they're here, just sign it, and then at the end of the year, like auction it off for something.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, I'm pretty excited to be on here. I've been watching some of your stuff and it's pretty I mean, it's pretty good. Like especially with the reels and everything that you clip. I mean, that's every streamer does that and the ones that don't really do that well. So that's really cool and I can tell that you're getting a lot of traction, especially on the RC stuff.
Yeah, it's crazy. I haven't really dove that deep into doing the big car stuff yet because we don't have content. I don't have my own content to clip yet,
Oh yeah.
and especially like doing the switch over to going to Santa Maria, and something that I'm super excited about this year. I'm not there, so I'm not there to get the content I want of the track building and the stuff that's going on with
Oh,
Claiborne and stuff like the behind the scenes pre-race that I might have the opportunity to do like here local.
yeah.
Kind of don't have that right now.
I'm gonna have to start showing up to the races in Santa Maria early. I'm always about an hour late. Santa Maria is gonna be really cool, and the dirt track content in general. I mean, you never know what's gonna happen on the track. You might have the best battle ever, or you might have a driver getting out of his car and throwing obscene gestures at somebody. So it's gonna be cool, and there's something about dirt track racing that's so different than like most racing. Like I go to asphalt tracks, and asphalt races are good, especially the short track, but nothing compares to dirt. It's just that side by side, and you got the slide jobs. It's awesome.
I mean, you dabbled a little bit into some asphalt. I mean, if you want to say back in the mini dwarf days, right? Didn't you have a
I try to
little?
forget that. It's like I tried to dirt track it in. I still remember the feeling of my little go-kart hopping, you know, and it's just that wasn't my venue. Let's just say that.
Yeah, I mean, but that's still like a. Does it give you a different kind of feeling of maybe of what like a super hooked up track would be if you're kind of on the asphalt stuff compared to completely all dirt?
I think that might have helped me. In my American stocks, I probably drove it in the straightest out of a lot of the drivers. I mean, of course, some drivers would throw it in good, straight, but like there were some times where I was driving it in like NASCAR, trail braking and everything, and most of those cars would end up being like thrown in, and it actually that's how I always drove. And when I got into sport mods, I'm trying to drive it in straight, which you cannot do at all, and it was very obvious that I was doing that because it was not going in good at all that first couple practice sessions, but I finally figured it out and kind of lifted myself out of the driving it in straight and not being able to set the car right.
So that's got to be like the biggest adjustment is all that rear end movement, right? That
Oh,
three link suspension and that thing. It's just got to feel like the rear end's trying to fall out of it.
oh, it when it like works, when you understand it, it really does work. My old car, my American stock, which is similar to a factory stock for people who aren't here in Bakersfield, it's just stock rear end. And then you get into the sport mod, just like the modified, I think. I'm gonna have to check on that. It's a bar car, so you have to get it in, tap the brake. Every person does it different. So I've heard, when I was struggling really bad, like four different racers tried to tell me to race, how to race it, and it's all different. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll try each one. And my dad, he's really good at giving me the dad talks, which I did actually post a video, and it kind of went like semi-viral,
Yes.
where
Yes.
it was he was just explaining it like a dad. He's like, "Don't dump the throttle, dude. Don't do that." Like just talking to me like that, and it just instantly clicked. Like, everything is smoothness. It's not just, stabby brake or stabby gas. It's you got to keep it smooth, and you got to keep it, you got to keep that wheel under you.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because they look so violent and they look so crazy from the stands and from announcing them and like when those cars it looks so erratic, but it's
Yeah.
probably got to be so smooth on the controls just to keep it like somewhat pointed in the right direction.
Oh yeah. So you when you drive it in, you drive it in like you got a little like kind of said it right. And then when you get it going, it really does feel like you're wearing it. And a whole bunch of racers told me that, like, those cars feel like you're wearing it. And I was like, what does that mean? And then I got in it, and I was like, oh, okay, now I understand. Like, I feel like I'm like just floating across that track.
Yeah, so what's the biggest speed difference? Can you feel the big speed difference from
Oh,
American stocks to
well,
Sport Mod?
here's the thing. Like, in my American stock, I'll be driving on the straightaway, and I've gone without like earbuds for the receiver and everything, and I don't have an issue with that. Like, one time I was going in practice and I didn't have anything, and my ears just about blew out. Like, it like was so loud. I was like, whoa, So there's a big difference there. The chip is, I think American stocks. I don't remember the chip roll, but it's lower than the sport mod, so you do get a little bit more power there.
So the chip, you're by the chip you mean the rev limiter.
Yes,
So,
the rev
yep.
limiter on the GM crate. We have a GM crate in both of them, which they are my sponsors. So it's pretty cool to have that on board and also prop up, the GMC trucks, which it is a good truck after all. But just like something as small as that really does give it a lot of horsepower, and of course it's meant for racing. American stocks. They're like a piece of junk, Cadillac. Like I sometimes I think about like what would the old lady that drove my junker Cadillac think of my car today if she could
She
see
would
it?
love it.
Oh, yeah.
She would be like, "This is everything I wish I could have done with this car. Is just go beat it up, take it to the racetrack, or go take it somewhere and just go have fun with it."
So I totaled my first car and that thing was awesome and it was like destroyed to all hell and that's probably why it did so good. And when me and my dad were dismantling it, I was like, Dad, what if we like tried to put it back together as a street car and went and smogged it? And he's like, Sonny, no. And the next day I went to the junkyard. I thought that would have been so cool. But he's like, no, dude, we don't have time for that.
That would have been epic.
Oh,
Just to like make it street legal and just
yeah.
oh yeah, that would have been and just yeah. I saw. I mean, I did see you one time on one of your posts, and if you guys are not following and like doing all the stuff on Sunny's on all your social media, it is a must see TV.
Thank you.
It is must see. I saw you take the American stock like through a drive through, right?
Oh yeah, Del Taco. We were conveniently went to the Chewy's car show in Bakersfield, and I was like joking. I was like, I really want to go to Del Taco. And my dad's like, you're gonna get a ticket, dude. And so one of the guys goes up and he says, if you get a ticket, I'll pay for it. So I was like, perfect. So I went. I took that car through there, and like conveniently, like at the same time, our engine builder Bill Lowe pulled up right behind us. I was like, oh look, this is perfect. He's seeing us be ridiculous. So it was really cool, and like I like totally talked to the person in the drive-through, and you could tell that they were not having it at work. Like he did not care at all. He just treated it like, okay, have a nice day.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, I'm sure he's just so happy to be there,
Oh
thrilled to be
yeah.
slinging his Del Taco. But I mean, I guarantee everybody that was there for that car show was like, "Oh my gosh, look at Sunny! Look at Sunny!"
I know, it was super fun. I wish I could do it again.
So what? So do you guys do a lot of stuff at Chewy's, right? You guys support that quite often.
We do when we know in time and we're in town. Sometimes it's hard because my dad does do his own business, so he does have some stuff going on, and then also I work, and sometimes I don't get home till like 5:30, and if my dad's not available to take the cars out there and get a spot, then we're kind of stuck. But I think the Speedway should definitely do that a lot because I mean, you do get people who are just interested in cars and they see that and then they go out to the races, like I had some little girl come up to me at that and she thought it was so cool and I convinced the parents to go out there and I saw her again the next weekend in the stands. And
That
that's how you get new fans.
absolutely, that's something that you and your dad do as well, with like the high school stuff. You guys take the cars to high schools, right?
Oh yeah.
And to junior highs and things like that, and show like kind of a show and tell for the school.
Yes, we did do that. I think twice. One with my Sportmon and one with my sport. Or I'm sorry, the IMCA stock car my dad drives. And one of the little girls actually asked. She goes, How many years of like college do you have to go for to drive this car professionally?" And my dad's like, "None." But she's like, "But how many years?" And he's like, "You could start racing." In about 2 years, young lady. And she's like 8. And she's like, she probably could have started racing now. So it's kind of like it's funny to see their reactions and everything. That's how you get new fans. And we did actually do the thing. So we did do the show and tell type stuff where we do take it to show like the younger kids, the elementary kids. And North High School actually has a shop program, which we took our sport mod there in the off season to get like body work done and like kind of just get a nice going through. We originally started with body work, and then they saw how much of a piece of junk that old thing was because that sport mod is a 2012 on it. My dad drove it, and it's an old chassis. It's probably one of the oldest out there. But we had it at the high school, and they were just working on it, and they redid like the suspension. They did redid a lot of the bars, and it's awesome. Of course, you do get some of the kids like they're learning. So like we came over one night, and one of the kids like did like a perfect V for like one of the bars to get welded into, so he had to redo that. But
Uh-huh.
it's really cool to see the kids get excited about that. I mean, if I knew about that in high school, dude, I probably would have like swapped schools.
Oh yeah, I mean, if I don't know if I would have swapped schools because I went to East High. I was like third generation East High, but we still had metal shop. We had metal shop and we had wood shop, and I had a '69 Roadrunner back then. That was my high school car. Still have that car,
So
and I had shop my senior year like 4 classes between the wood shop and the metal shop and welding. I was basically a shop rat all in high school, and I was
yeah.
able to work on my car. I changed the lower quarter panels on my car and like all that stuff during high school. So I kind of had an impromptu car shop because my Mr. Varel, I love you, Brad Varel. He was so amazing, and he was just like, "Do whatever you want." And I got his 50. I think he had a 56. His son has a car now, 56 or 57 Chevy, and that thing sat in the shop for years. And my buddy and I, we got it running.
Oh,
That was
that's
like
awesome.
one of our things. Like I took the fuel pump because I had an electric fuel pump on my Roadrunner,
Yeah.
and I went straight from that to the carburetor on his car. And when we started it, just everything, all the bugs and everything that was in that thing just shot out of it. But it was like he's like, I haven't heard that thing run in like 8 years. It
That's
was so
cool.
cool. But like that was a few more moons away from me than they are for you in high school. But I mean, that was 20 something years ago, and I still remember it like it was yesterday. So I know those kids are building memories that are going to last them a lifetime.
And in the North High class, a lot of the next generation of Bakersfield Speedway drivers are there. You have the Conways, you have McKinley, there's a couple other kids. There's Devin, which is a really, like, he's a prodigy. We actually brought him into our team, and he's been coming to the races with us, and he schools me and my dad. Like, he, like, totally, like, sometimes he's, like, he knows more than me and my dad, and we're sitting here with, like, years of, like, knowledge, and I think he's 16. He's a 16-year-old kid, like, totally, like, teaching us the ropes on how to work on stuff. And it's pretty cool to see that. And The teacher there, John Radman, is super good. He's one of those guys that like really does inspire the kids. And shops like that and classes like that steer like some of the kids that might be going down the wrong path into like a good path where they can put it into racing and cars. Everybody wants something to work on and something to be proud of. And a lot of people, I feel like a lot of the people in this generation's like coming up, they don't have that.
Yeah, I mean, I know education is so big and so instrumental, and especially in people that you know going to go down that route to be doctors, lawyers. We have to have those kind of people, but it takes mechanics. It takes people that really make the world go round. Are these is the guys that get their hands dirty and get
Yeah.
out there and just you don't think about your plumbers, your AC technicians, your I mean car mechanics, all that stuff. Like that stuff is kind of going away, and but now the premium for a career is going to be these jobs again where you have to use your hands to
Yep.
get dirty and make the world go round.
Especially with AI coming up. I mean, there's a lot of people who have college degrees. I know like computer science was one of the first ones where it's just you can't it's going to get taken up by AI eventually. And these people who work their hands on and everything, like they got to have something, they're going to get a lot more probably job flow and workflow than anybody else. And that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's cool to see that, like, if you're not, if school's not your number one thing, your number one priority, just get through it, try your hardest. And I'm not college educated, and I mean I'm a maintenance supervisor at a water district, so I've worked hands on welding, fabricating, doing everything. My uncle Skinny,
Yeah,
so we've
the
been
goat.
yeah, I've worked on cars my whole life. We built cars our whole life, been around this my whole life. So, and then there's other ways that you can make a living and do well.
Yeah. My boyfriend actually just joined the IBW union, and I didn't really have like much experience with unions or like really know that much, but he's already gotten like a pay raise, and he's making some pretty good money. He's only been there for like 4 or 6 months, and that's pretty cool. I mean, and they educate him, so it's cool to see other ways like that you can get a living, but also it's important to make sure the people that need a college degree do get it. You want your
Yeah.
doctor to have some type of education, not go, okay, how are we going to cut open this heart today?
Yeah, no, I mean there's just multiple lanes. There's multiple lanes for every person out there. Especially you don't feel stuck if you don't think you're gonna advance and prevail in the education world. There's plenty of stuff out there. But if you have any ability in the educational world, definitely go that route.
Yep.
You need to get the education.
Now I gotta ask. I know you're hopping over to Santa Maria Speedway to do some announcing. That's pretty cool. The first race is this weekend, right? I
Uh,
think it's the sprint cars, right?
Yes, so it's California Lightning sprints, 305 sprints, and dwarf cars.
That track is made for those cars. Like the
Yes.
sprint cars, the people of Santa Maria love their sprint cars. And I mean, I that's a fun track to watch them on. I don't really get a chance to watch them because I've been banned from going to the pits, or I'm sorry, to the stands because I missed my race.
We're
Um,
gonna have to go over that. We'll put a page marker in. We're definitely gonna have to get back into that. But yeah,
I can appreciate them, and like those guys get a workout with like their steering wheel. Everything's different, and it's super cool to see. I really like the lightning sprints. I think that's like a pretty like it seems like that's like a great way to get into that world. I think it's less like more budget friendly. I think.
it's definitely a more budget friendly sprint car, but it's definitely not lacking in speed.
Oh no.
Like when those cars come to the track, like they're faster than any stock car. I mean, by far,
Oh yeah.
faster than any stock car that we have, any modified sport mod. I mean, they're probably running like late model speed,
That's
but
crazy.
but it's affordable, but still at the same style of sprint car racing of you don't toss it in, you want it to be flat, you want it to be straight.
Yeah.
The fastest guys are always Bobby McNovich, and he's just drives that thing straight and just goes.
Yeah.
So, but that track is was so solid at the end of the year. So I know Santa Maria just fired up their brand new season last year. So the beginning of the year, I saw some of the races over there, and I was like, oh no, they had some track troubles, but to be expected with a new surface, a new
Yeah.
layout, and in the spring it's so tough there because they get so much rain. And last year we had a good amount of rain, so they were flooded. Their first couple of races, I think they missed the first couple of races. So
That track is always hooked up to just because of the area, so it's hard not to get flooded when it really does rain.
yeah. So I mean, I got a little nervous. I saw this week. I was like, oh no. I saw the percentage of the R word.
Yeah,
coming, and I was like, no, not the first race of the year. That's not going to happen. I was like, we're ready. We have, we've done our homework. We've done our practice. We had a full season of RC racing. We worked out all the kinks and the bugs, the system. Like, I'm ready. Like, I couldn't be more ready.
that's cool.
And then,
That has just like Santa Maria has a really cool vibe to it. It's unlike any other track. Seriously, like it's got that coastal vibe. It kind of I feel like sprint car drivers and like stock car, modified drivers, they're kind of like different. And I feel like the track kind of has the vibe of like the sprint car drivers, which is a good vibe. And it kind of has that cool vibe too that they've really picked up on the vintage stuff. I mean, you look at they brought back the history on it, which is really awesome. And as a fourth generation driver, as like some of the racers that came from there, including my dad and my grandpa, that's really cool to see.
yeah, and that's one other thing that they put on the program. I just talked to Chad a couple of days ago. He's like, we just talked to the WRA, so they're going to bring the vintage cars out there as well.
Really awesome.
So just an exhibition with the WRA. So the WRA, I don't know what the acronym's for, but it's just the old school blast from the past
Yeah.
sprint car stuff. So they're gonna bring that stuff out too this week. So it's gonna be a cool, easy. Like, man, hopefully I didn't curse that, but a nice, smooth opening night because just three classes. Probably looking at 20 to 25 cars in each class, and then get right through that program, and then have the WRA there, and then we'll have just a smooth going opening night. So that's what we're shooting
Heck yeah,
for.
that's cool. And it's always a fun time to go up to the Santa Maria because you can do a little day trip out of it. If it's 2 days, Pismo's right there. So, it's fun to go out there as a driver from Bakersfield, and I'm sure it's fun for you guys too.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Because I hit the last couple of races, like last 3 or 4 races at Santa Maria last year when I was able to get out there because
Yep.
the speedway was done, had no commitments there, and then Chad was like, "Hey, when you get a chance, can you come by and just check it out, and we'll, just see how you like it, or just test." They wanted to test me out, or I wanted to kind of see how that was, and then kind of after the first night, he was like, "Dude, we'd love to have you if you'd like to keep coming."
Go, that's
So
cool.
I was like, I couldn't say no because just the atmosphere, like you nailed it. Like the atmosphere, the people are there, that people that are there, they just enjoy it. They enjoy being there. They enjoy being around the cars. I mean, it's it's not the same kind of feel that I love Bakersfield and the Bakersfield fans, and but they are like diehard race fans, right? They're race fans.
Santa Maria has kind of casual fans, which you don't
Yes.
see a lot in California. And I mean, it's cool to see, really. And I think it's because they've realized, what it's like losing that track for so many years, especially something that's so historical there. I mean, there's not really much to do in Santa Maria. And, it's Bakersfield centrally located, so, you can do a lot of stuff. But Santa Maria, there's not that much to do in that town.
Yeah, and Pat, he has put so much into that place. It's like
Yeah.
it's so hard to not want to go support that because everything that he's doing there. Like when I went there, it's been 6, 7 years since I've been to Santa Maria. I was last time I was there. I was working on Ryan Smith's race car, Ryan and Chris Smith, and that was when Chris flipped over. It was a Simkins Memorial, so that was the last time I was there. And the track was cool. I've always liked that track. And when I was really young, I used to work on Jerry Stewart's late model. So my uncle was a big supporter for Jerry and everything. So I love that track. But when I first came back last year, and I was like, whoa, this is like not the same thing.
Yeah.
And Robbie Claiborne got back on the grader and got that track figured out. He's like, we got to dry it up because always same thing. The tide comes up, track gets heavy and rutted and can get crazy and all over the place. So, but
Oh,
he
yeah.
got it figured out at the end of the year. So I was like, okay, we are working with something. The racing's going to be great. The fans are great. I mean, it's just wins across the board.
Yep, and I know there was a lot of drivers who went out there for the practice night and the sport mods and modifieds, and I saw there was a lot of good feedback, so that was really cool to see. And I'm pretty stoked that they're bringing back the Simkins Memorial. I've never raced it in a big car before. I know my dad's won one, but that's a pretty cool thing to have, and I'm pretty stoked to have it back. I mean, I really think like the history of that, and of course, my family is pretty cool, so I'm pretty excited for that.
And that's what you were saying, trying to make it a weekend out of it. That's going to be the one. If you're going to make a weekend out of a race,
Oh yeah.
that's going to be the one because it's a 2 day show. So you're going to race Saturday and Sunday. Monday's off. Like take off a Friday, take off a Tuesday, make a long weekend of it,
Oh yeah.
and just do your wine tasting, get all your fix of racing and everything you want to do Central Coast wise and racing. That Simpkins Memorial is going to be Must see, must see.
Oh yeah, and I can't wait to see. I know they had some really cool trophies. Like I think like the last year they did it, whereas the '68, and I wanted my dad to win so bad. I was like, Dad, we need that. But it was really cool. So I'm sure they'll have something cool again for that coming up.
Oh, absolutely, because they do everything right. So I know it's going to be done right. Um, it's I can only imagine what the trophy's going to be because I'm sure it's going to be top notch for a 2 day show, back to the premier kind of
Yeah.
race. So it's going to be great. So I wanted to get back. I said we're going to put a bookmark in it.
Oh,
So I want to get back to it before we get too far away from it. So if once again, if you guys are not following Sunny and Simpkins Racing social media, she does a quick little breakdown of what happened. But what the heck happened, Sunny? What
I do
happened?
everything, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I don't skimp out. I used to, but I'm like, you know what? Everybody needs to see it. Well, my first, I think it was my first race. I was still very much figuring out the sport mod. I actually practiced it, I think a year or two back in Santa Maria, and I hit the wall because my dad said if it's not turning, give it gas. So I gave it some gas and it went right into the wall, broke like half that chassis. So we were back in Bakersfield Speedway for the opening night. We did have a little bit of practice in it, and I was feeling pretty good. The I was still having trouble setting the car. Just with the bar car, I was still really struggling with that. My dad was trying to tell me stuff. I just wasn't, it wasn't connecting. Um, and I was like, okay, well, he gave me a dad talk. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go out to the main event and I'm gonna kick some butt. And we went up to watch some races. The lights turned off. Some technical difficulties happened, and we just went down to the pits, got ready. My earphones weren't working, so I couldn't really hear what they were saying over. They didn't have a radio on that night for the speakers, so I couldn't hear either. And I go out on the track, and they actually have 6 laps down. And conveniently, a yellow flew out, so I was like, okay, well, I'll just go on here real quick. And I came onto the track, and I didn't have headphones, but I would have loved to hear what they were saying. All the officials were going like this, and they flew a black flag. I was like, that's not for me, is it? So I keep going one more lap just in case, and one of the officials just finally tells me stop. And I pulled over, and he's like, "Get off the track!" So I got off the track. And the next race at drivers' meeting, they said, I didn't know that we had to say this, but once the race starts, don't go on the track. So
Ah,
lesson learned.
yeah, yes. And my girl Steph, she don't play.
No, and
She don't play.
she's good. She's good at her job, and I'm sure she would have gave me a talking to if I could hear her on the mic. But they did the track at Bakersfield was actually having some. They had a big rut that it was pretty hard, and they were having some issues with cars, and just a lot of stuff wasn't doing that great, and they fixed it. So it's a nice service now, and it like KCRP's always had a rut right there just because of the way it's
Turn one.
built.
Yep.
I've seen it in my dad's old videos, and they fixed it, which is pretty cool. I mean, you might get like a little bit of ruts there, but just normal racing stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
Bakersfield Speedway got that. So we went into that, and then the next race we went into it. I was like, okay, I'm not missing anything. So my dad banned me from going in to watch the stands, except him, which I think it should have been all of it. I'm kidding. So I would watch his races, and then I went out, and this car, like, we did a change real quick because he's like, I need to modify it for your driving style, not mine, because he likes a tighter car. And I went out, and I was like, I felt like this car, like, it actually felt like a race car. The other times I was like trying to make it work, and it felt like a race car finally. And we started in the back. I got caught up in a crash where got into a car that was turning, and we pretty much started dead last after that, like lap 2.
Hmm.
And I made it up to 7th, which was pretty cool. So I'm pretty stoked about that.
That's awesome, and it's great to see. It's great to see that the sport my class is kind of getting back to what it should be. Is that stepping stone into the modified class? I mean, you had Tyler in there that was just like, okay, we're running for second, kind of thing, right?
Oh yeah,
And, like you had
his family is great. I mean, you have Jason
oh,
in there still.
and then Jason. I mean, he's always going to be if he's racing, he's going to be tough to beat.
Oh yeah, I actually I would rewatch the video from last race, and I saw that I hit a move where I was like racing in the middle of the straightaway, and I just went like this on him. And if he wanted to, he could have totally like ruined my night. So I watched it. I was like, "No, what was I thinking?" So I had to shoot him a text like, "Sorry, I have no idea what I'm doing."
But I mean, it's the stepping stone, right? You want to move up, you want to get better, you want to progress, you want to go faster. I mean, everyone wants to go faster. So what was the choice? Was it just because you guys had the card to go from American to Sport Mod instead
Yeah,
of American to
pretty
Hobby?
much. I mean, I would have liked to try a hobby stock, but sport mods, it's a different type of style of racing, and I'm pretty happy with it. I wasn't. I guess I might have been a little bit intimidated at first, just because I was having a lot of bad luck. I almost destroyed the car in Santa Maria. I had that missed the race. So I was like, oh, dude, maybe this is a sign. But we got it together, and sometimes things like you got to take the bad and like use that to build yourself to feel like, oh, dude, screw that. I'm gonna do good. I'm not gonna let that get me. So like since that, we've finally just kind of gotten it together, and I'm pretty excited for the next races, and that's something too, like I just covered it in my recent video. I'm just trying to build confidence. That's the main thing. I had that in my old class, my American stock. I raced it for like I think 4 years, and after that, you just feel like you're just driving the car. And there's some nights where I go out there and I'm still trying to be competitive, but at the same time, I'm like, maybe it's time for a move up, and we finally got that with the sport mod.
Yeah, that's awesome because I mean it is two completely different things. So like if you were to go American stock to hobby stock, I mean that's just a lateral move. You'll have a little more speed because it's locked up.
Oh yeah.
But I mean you had the skill. It's not like you were just like ran it 1 year. You're two-time champion, American stock champion, and then like 4 years of like competitive racing. So to make that jump from American to sport mod, I mean it just made sense, especially since you guys had the car
Oh yeah.
and all the stuff that happens like maybe like yeah, knocking the fence down at Santa Maria your first time out, but you're happy it's done in a 12-year-old car, 14-year-old car.
Exactly. My dad's like, if you're doing good, maybe we'll get you something nice. I'm like, I like this car. I mean, it's good for learning. It's honestly the best way to learn. It's my dad's old car. It's pretty cool. Like we have all the memories from that car. I can see how he raced it previously in the same car. If something happens, it's like it was a 2012. But that car is actually really fast after the high school got it. Like they did a lot of changes to it and rebuilt. Like they almost completely rebuilt at least half that car, and it's like a totally different beast. My dad got in it for the first practice session. He's like, "This is the best this car's ever been." So I was like, "Yes." So it's a good car. I'm excited.
Yeah, I saw the clips when he went out for the first practice and got out there. I was like, man, Sonny is ripping that thing. And I was, oh, okay. Billy was out there just giving it the shakedown to make sure it was good. And the car looks, I mean, it still has the same attitude. Some of those older cars still look kind of funky when they're out on the track. That just the rear end's geometry just doesn't quite link and doesn't quite look like it's doing what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
But that car, I mean, it looks just like a new piece.
They like completely like almost chopped off that rear, like all the rear bars, and redid it. We redid like the rear end and everything. So it is almost pretty much it's like a Frankenstein, almost brand new. So the only thing that's super old is a body from 2015 on that car, which has never been changed, and it definitely looks like it. We look at it like some kids like want to sit in my car, and I'm like, I have to be careful. I have to hold spots so they don't like cut themselves on the car. But you can't tell the difference. We're like, oh, this is so ugly, like when it's in the pits and then it's on the track, and you can't even tell.
Oh no,
So
it looks race worthy on the track. Yeah, I'm not gonna say show quality, but definitely race worthy. And
race car.
yeah, it looks like, but it still looks like a nice race car because the
Yes.
wraps still held up. Like it still looks good.
Yeah, and it had a Motor City on it, which is one of our sponsors. I still need to add, so we're actually going to redo a body from Victory Circle, brand new one, and a new wrap, which is pretty cool. Which I'm going to put our new sponsors on there: All American Glass and Grapevine MSP. And I've got a really cool wrap going. I kind of put a poll online that said, what should we do? Should we do the Medusa, because that's kind of my trademark, or should we do this cowgirl that I did, which I think turned out really cool, and I actually drew it, and it like only like a few people said Medusa. Everyone's like,
I
give
was
us some
on.
more.
I
So
was on team. I was on Team Outlaw.
yeah,
I was on Team Outlaw. That thing is. That's a good look. I'm like, dang it, Sonny. You're like,
I
oh, well, can you draw John Candy live stuff or something? I was like,
hey,
man, that was sick.
let me know. I've got a weird, I'm different than a lot of the drivers I know, and I know I'm kind of a weirdo, but I'm a racer, but I'm also kind of like a huge nerd. I dress like a 50s housewife. I draw, and then I like collect baseball cards. I do a whole bunch of nerd stuff, and I do like too many hobbies, honestly. So sometimes they come in handy with that type of stuff. I'm like, let me merge this real quick.
That's awesome. Like I am a jack of all, master of none type of thing. Same thing. Like I try to do is the best I can with everything that I do. I don't care if it's bowling. I don't care when I was racing, anything.
Oh
And
yeah.
like now doing this stuff, like I have a problem with buying equipment and buying things. If you haven't noticed, but um,
I'm the same way.
but I mean, I just go so hardcore, but in everything, anything and everything. And like if we're gonna race marbles, I was like, oh, I gotta get the best marble, fastest marble, and like and then figure out how to do it and polish it and do all the stuff that people would think that's nerdy and weird. It's like, what is that guy doing over there? Is that? It's like,
It pays off with this type of stuff,
hey,
So it's pretty cool. I have like my family has like OCD, and it's for me, for them it's the clean kind. For me, it's not the clean kind. You should see my room. It works in like the creative stuff, like and stuff like this, where it's just one track mind and everything, and like it works, and it's kind of like it really helps me in like every aspect of life except cleaning my room. Uh, so it helps with this type of stuff, and I think that's what a lot of creative people have for sure.
yeah, absolutely. I think I definitely have a different kind of mind when it comes to certain things. I'm really focused on doing something. I want to do it really well, but like not real good with outside noise when I'm doing it. So like I'm when I'm announcing and doing all that, like I need to have focus and be focused on this. But if somebody's trying to talk to me while I'm doing this, I'm like,
Oh yeah.
get away from me. I'm like, please just let me do my thing. I hope I do it well. Just but let me focus and do my thing. Because sometimes my wife gets frustrated at me. She'll be like, I was texting you and calling you. I was like, dude, I am nowhere even. That is nowhere even on my mind. That phone. Like when I'm in go time and go mode, it's just like that's it.
Yep, exactly. Going back to Santa Maria real quick, I know they have the High Limit series on the schedule, right? Do they have World of
Yes.
Outlaws too?
Uh, I don't think there's World of Outlaws. I didn't see World of Outlaws. There's High Limit. I believe it's on a Thursday.
Do you get to announce that too, or do they have their own
They
announcers?
have, yeah, they have their own.
I mean,
They have their own. So
High Limit's pretty cool. I remember when they came to Bakersfield, they had Kyle Larson pitted outside the gate, which was crazy. Me and my dad like went and interviewed him, and we are like, dude, we could tell all of Bakersfield that Kyle Larson is literally sitting out here in
yes,
Wheeldale right now.
yes.
It would have been like crazy, but it's really cool to see those like races and bring like big names. Like I know they usually bring Larson. I think Kyle Busch was in it last time, and
Yeah.
is Ty Gibbs too that they usually have out there.
So they were there for the midget race.
Oh, the midget race. My
Yes,
bad.
for the midget race. Um, but Larson was here for no, he was here for the midget race as well. So I don't think he was there for the high limit series. But all the big hitters, all the travelers that go to that support that Rico and um, all the big names.
Yeah.
They were there for the sprint car race and yeah, that was Corey Day and everybody. But that is so cool to see those big races.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I don't get it. Like when they came to Bakersfield this last year, I was like, why is this place not sold out? Like
Exactly.
sold
Well, it's
out.
a nice facility
Yeah,
too.
I mean Bakersfield. I mean, I still there I have I've said it before. No zero animosity. Like the reason, like if people are here, they want to know why I'm not at Bakersfield. It's just they had other vision. That they have their own streaming service, their own things. They have low budget TV, and you know I wanted to get into this world of it, the streaming
Yeah.
part of it, and still announcing and doing everything. And they Bakersfield has that already. They didn't want an addition to it, so I just had to just move on.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I was there 8 years, and I love that place. It's got there's a big hole in
Oh
my
yeah.
heart missing
You
not being there.
I mean, I still have it. I have it like clipped when I won the championship or my first race, and I was like, I jumped out of my car. It was ridiculous looking back at it. And it's like, I love watching that and showing people that one just because it's like I'm like out of breath. I'm rambling like crazy, and you're like sitting there with the mic, like, okay, go on.
No, I mean I love that because especially like I think the hardest thing and something I love about doing this now, the podcasting is like being able to have a conversation with somebody. Is in the on track interviews, it was so hard for me to like come up with something to spit out. Oh, so how was this? What was this? And now it's getting easier to speak to a person face to face, let alone in front of 2,000 people.
Oh yeah, and it's pick up a personality that way, especially when you get a driver out of their car, you get a huge spike of adrenaline, like, and if something like they're pissed off or something, you are not getting a good interview at all, or you're getting like little to none or some serious trash talk.
Oh, I would say the wildest one that I did was it was Chase Johnson. Chase Johnson, the USAC race at Bakersfield Speedway, old location. Uh, Chase was driving the May Motorsports number 8, and it was a 410 race. It was on Flow Racing. And still, you can go watch it on Flow Racing. And Chase Johnson pushed
Oh, I remember that race.
Damian Gardner, the demon, down the back straightaway, last lap, last corner, moved him out of the way, got the win, and boy, were they not happy.
Didn't one of them get out of their car and try to like pull
Yes.
him out? I remember that race, and that was an interesting one to race.
Yes.
You don't see that as much on asphalt. I'm saying dirt tracks are like totally different, and I love it that way.
Yes. No, there's like I love that saying, asphalt's for getting to the track and dirt's for racing on it. I mean, I love, love, love that saying, but I mean, there's so much action that happens on a dirt track. I mean, it's nonstop, even if it's just 8 cars on the track for a heat race. I mean,
Oh,
that's a full heat race. But I mean, if you got a slow guy that picked a horrible pill and he's got to start in the back, he's got to work his way through. It's just like poetry in motion.
yep.
It's crazy.
And I mean, the IMC stock cars, there's some low car counts right now, but they're all those classes are putting on a good show. I mean, Brad Pounds and Gavin Manning every like weekend, they're putting on a great show in the modifieds. In my dad's class, there's only 4 cars, and then they're all like door to door. It's pretty awesome. I mean, for what it is, it's good racing. And I was actually just talking to my boyfriend, so he's not from the racing world at all. And he comes to the races, he sees 16 cars, that seems like a lot. And I was showing him some like replays of like old crazy races, and there was this thing where they were like 30 sport mods at the races today. He's like, holy cow! I was like, yeah, dude, you don't understand. There was like B mains like almost every night, and I remember someone told me that there was like C mains for mini stocks at one point.
Yes.
So, I mean, racing isn't what it is, like what it used to be. I mean, of course, the heart's still there, the atmosphere is still there, but it's just not the same as it used to be. And I wish it was like, because it was just such a special time. And I'm a big fan of vintage stuff. Like looking at those '90s videos with like the stands packed. They're wearing all those neon shirts, and the pits are packed where they're parking in the parking lot. Like it's crazy, and I love it. But it's sad. I wish I could see that again.
Yeah, I don't know what really changed. I mean, but it's just been incrementally like just the downfall. But and it's not just here, not locally. It's everywhere. You see it everywhere. I mean, it's just car counts go down. Everything's going down. I mean, you can blame economy or this, that, the other, but it's just also it feels like the on track vibes or at track vibes were not what they used to be. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, or there probably is no answer. It's just the sign of the times. Things change,
Yep.
but your diehards are gonna love it no matter what. They're,
Yep. I agree.
they're still gonna be there. I think honestly too, just getting new faces at the track is what's really gonna try to flip it around, change it up a little bit. Something that Santa Maria is doing really well is just getting like common guy out to the track to just to check it out.
It's a vibe. It's like going to the game on Friday night. I mean, you got to make it that vibe. And I think a lot of it is there's just like the people that go to the races. Like for me, I go to the races because my family's there. Like that's always been. We always gone to the races Saturday night. And it's hard to get new people who. I mean, it's kind of a weird experience. And you think of Bakersfield Speedway, and you think of getting dirt thrown at your face, and you're like the average person's like, that doesn't really sound fun. And NASCAR's even dealt with this. Like, how do you get new fans? Because a lot of NASCAR fans, they're the people who always watched it, and you can see that they've kind of changed up their marketing a little bit. And there is some new fans of different demographics that you wouldn't expect, which is pretty cool. But I think dirt tracks need to figure out how do you get new fans and how do you get the new generation of car people? Because I think the new generation of car people that you're gonna find are those people who get like an old grandma IS from 2000, lower it, do crazy stuff with the wheels. Like that's the new next generation of car people. You go to a meet like that, or you look at a video, they've got like hundreds of cars there,
Yes.
and you don't see that at the dirt track. So maybe the demographic of racing and just car stuff is changed.
Yeah, I mean, you would think that maybe the mini stock class would be like thriving because kind of that import world for a while,
Yeah.
but I think it did because that was like when the Fast and Furious kind of was going, was
Yep.
it like the late 2000s and everything, and that's when the mini stocks had 30 freaking cars out there.
It's
So
crazy.
maybe that was something to that. I was like, do we have to start doing Tesla races or something? Or
Oh, have you
the
seen the
EV, the
race?
Chevy EVs, Chevy.
You
Hey,
know, I know you can do like I mean, or the what is it called when they have like a minivan and like a Toyota Corolla racing on the track? It's like the spectator races. Like
yes,
you need stuff like that, and it's like you can say like, oh, you can do this. You can just I could run a track. I know it's a very hard business, and the people that run racetracks are they're like.
oh no,
You have to be
there's things.
dedicated, or like you have to be able to have thick skin because everybody's gonna complain no matter what, and it's hard. I mean, but, how do you find that new fan? That's something that you kind of got to think about. Like, how do you find the new people? Is it going to car shows or is it, advertising it differently? Do we show the fight reel that happened in the pits this weekend or, the crashes? I mean, people like sprint cars because they go crazy. So maybe you got to start showing some of that stuff.
Yeah, and it's kind of conflicting too because when you're running a program, you want everything to be family friendly because everything needs to be family friendly these days. You're like,
Yeah.
I think the old school, but going back to the 70s and 80s of going to the dirt track and watching fights on track and watching fights in the by the beer concession stand and all that stuff. I mean, that was kind of a thing.
Oh yeah.
That was a thing. It was.
Ghosts Key dirt track. That's
I
like
was
what
like,
you went for.
yeah, I was like, we're getting mud in the beer. There's gonna be a fist fight down here. The Johnsons are gonna be fighting the Bowers and this and that and this and that. It's like that's what's gonna happen. But this day and age, you can't have that. You can't. I mean,
No.
everyone wants to sue somebody. Everyone's gonna do like you can't have that. So
But you do think of it like hockey. Why do people go to hockey games?
exactly.
you know and it's like I want to see it thrive, but how do you bring it back? That's like a question.
Yeah. I mean, we could do the content creator thing right now. Go in the comments. Like, if you're watching this and you have an idea of, you know, you can just go in the comments, go in there and be like, okay, what about this? What about this? What about this? And like, if somebody sees it, if a track owner sees it, that's not here in Bakersfield or anywhere that's watching this, and be like, well, shoot, I didn't even kind of think about that. That's what a fan actually suggested. Maybe
Yeah.
try it and see what happens.
And it's crazy too. I mean, of course, racing will probably always be here in Bakersfield, especially with that really nice facility. But Bakersfield's actually gone through 4 racetracks, and one of them is something that a lot of people didn't know about. You have Mesa Moran, the original Bakersfield Speedway. You have Kevin Harvick's, but you had one called Sportland Park, which I don't remember the time frame. I think it was the 30s, 40s. I might be wrong. My dad's the one that knows more about it. But they had an attendance of 5,000 people every weekend, which is a lot. Could you imagine 5,000 people?
That's insane.
And people like were dying, like they would get in crashes and they'd be crashing in the stands, and it was crazy. I think it was I don't know if it was asphalt, but I know they had like wood planks in there somewhere.
Hmm.
And it's like it's just a historical part. There's probably like 5 people that know about that in Bakersfield because a lot of the people have died out and it's completely forgotten about.
That had to be like 30s or 40s,
Oh
probably.
yeah, I mean I
Yeah.
have the pictures. I'll have to maybe send them so you can like throw one on screen or something. But it's like there's a lot of dirt track racing history in Kern County, and you think of the old location, and maybe that should have been a historical landmark.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of still there. I mean,
Yeah.
it's if somebody had the money, hey, if you got the money, uh that's still there. The bones are there.
Yep.
But I mean, the fault that runs through there is, kind of wiped out the one corner of the office that was there and everything. So I mean, it's going to take a lot to if somebody were to try to get it back going.
Yep.
But
It can't be much then a dirt track though with that fault line. Like what else are you
yeah,
gonna put there?
exactly. Exactly. I mean, you got 20 acres, right? I think it's 20 or 40 acres. I think it's 220s. So 40 acres right there and a fault going right through it. So
Oh yeah.
it's, I mean, come on. Somebody, come on, Roger Holder. You want to buy a dirt track. But no, it's sad. It would have been so cool to make that 80 mark. 80 years. It was this would have been the 80th year or last year if we kept it going 80 years strong. And I don't know if that's consecutive. I don't know if that was 80 years straight, but I know it's 80 years of racing
Oh
at,
yeah,
at
and
Bakersfield
that
Speedway.
facility was a little run down. I mean, it was a nice facility, but still, it's like it's older, and there's a charm to it. There is a charm. You go there, you got that pit booth outside, you got the stands, the Kern. Like I'd walk through that turn right there to go to get like an iced tea, and like I'd have a whole bunch of kids come down and talk to me, and it was pretty cool. Like I would talk to everybody there, and it's like. You can do that at KCRP, and of course, I still do, but like, it's just like the whole, like, it's just a different vibe. And I really am grateful for the track that's here because it's a nice facility and those people are trying and they're doing a good job for what it is. But, there's sometimes it's like you're nostalgic for a place that isn't there anymore.
Yeah, it makes it kind of difficult. And I noticed that even last year, like the attendance wasn't what it used to be. Do you think it's just travel, or do you think it's just
Well, I
just
mean, if you think about it. Of course, the people still come, but like there's
Oh
a
yeah,
lot of
no,
people.
it's not that nobody's there. I mean, people are there,
Oh yeah,
definitely.
but there's a lot of people that lived across the street from the track. They just walk over there, or they drive their race cars over there. Now they got to figure out how to get trailers there and everything. And I get it. We're smack dab right in the middle, so like it'd be like 25 minutes for us to go that way, or it's 25 minutes for us to go this way. So it works out for either like
Yeah.
both of us. And I mean, KCRP is a really nice facility. I mean, their bathrooms are very nice. No disrespect to the old ones.
Well, I mean,
Um,
there's 70 years difference of technology.
so it's different, but it is a really nice facility, and like what those guys are doing to the track, they've been putting on some pretty nice shows for there, and I think it's been really cool having those 2 day shows. My dad, we were gonna do a 2 day show, but my dad wanted to race Paris, and then his engine broke, so we could have raced, but we ended up going to Paris and having to leave early. We actually drove through a Mexican rodeo on our way back.
Oh
We
my
had to we
goodness.
had to get our race trailer, like just a nice enclosed race trailer through like a huge line of people, and my mom like got out of the car. She's like, okay, like going like this, like she's like directing an airplane, and we had to do like a U-turn, and it was crazy. But like it's just. Well, I wish I could have raced the 2 day race.
Yes.
But I'm glad my dad got some seat time in his car in Paris because he deserves some. He can't just be race car dad.
And that's his baby too, right? That street
His
stock.
baby.
That's his number one like go to.
Since like I think 2008. He's probably gonna yell at me because I probably said it wrong. But that's the same chassis since then. So it's an old car, but he loves that thing. He just got a 420 in it, aluminum head. So, oh yeah, he's excited for it. So we're just having some issues. It's a new motor, so it's hard just because they only race there for his. Because there's two different types of pro stocks,
Mhm.
and that rule set is different. So you have to go down there for that. But it's a long drive to test something, and it doesn't work.
Yeah. So that's a billow,
Yeah.
brand new piece. So do you guys know what happened? Do you know if it was maybe a valve train? Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't really dove into it yet.
No, we kind of just parked it. My dad's like, I'll deal with this later. They got the engine out and they gave it to Bill to take a look at, but they're still looking. It's actually like we've got like I think 2 races, 2 weekends of no racing, which is rare because we have 4 different cars, so we're trying to race all we can, but we're enjoying the non-racing right now. I mean, I love racing, but sometimes it's nice to just go home and like edit videos that like are on the stupid stuff, not race cars.
Yeah. No, that's I mean, shoot, that's a whole nother job is editing videos. Now, getting into this, we kind of talked about it earlier, but off camera. But that is such a you know, kudos to yourself and your dad. Your dad's been so successful on social media and editing and or just video production and everything like that. And getting into it, it takes so much. People do not realize how much it
Oh
takes
yeah.
to do all that.
It's a full-time job outside of it. I mean, my dad, he got into it, like right like at the perfect time. It was like those types of pages weren't made yet, so he was one of the first, especially in Kern County. And it is the work hard, play hard crowd. So I mean, it's Kern County. And you have that magazine and everything. And I've kind of, I've watched him grow up, doing it. So I kind of took it on my own. I used to watch my dad like be on his phone all the time. Like if we went to Disneyland and everything, he's like, "I'm working." I'm like, "Okay, fine. Are you really working?" Now I get it. I'm on my phone, and my little sister and my boyfriend's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm working." So
I
like,
guess.
so it just continues, and I really do love it. I probably post about like at least 5 times a day for different content. I mean, I just did. So I do social media as my job. I run 3 different accounts locally for a dealership in town. GMC, Lexus, and California Truck, which is a truck shop, and I just make content all day, and it's pretty fun. I mean, we get to do a lot of cool stuff, and then of course I decided to make 3 different Sunny variation accounts, which I don't know what I was thinking, but then it gives me another like, okay, well I guess I'm gonna go home and edit this now, and then it's all fun, but I'm like, whoa, Sunny, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
But I mean, I love to be able to do like I love just making stuff. Like, I went to an antique store and I tried to find as many horses as I could because I was like, why not? I mean, what the best thing can happen is nobody watches, so whatever.
Yeah, that's my mindset too. Is like, okay, because in the beginning I was so hesitant. I was like, okay, I gotta have the right perfect camera, the right perfect this, the right perfect that. And I was like, no, the number one thing if you want to be a content creator is create content.
Yep.
You have to.
And that's like a thing that I've really learned too recently is like, if who cares what anybody thinks? Who cares really? Just go do it. And if someone hates, use that fuel to make yourself say, you know what? screw whatever you think. I'm going to keep making stuff and I'm going to make it even cooler now. Like
Yeah.
just keep like using like just not caring, learning how to care in certain stuff like that matter, and then not learning how to care in stuff that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So, and that's really important in the content creation world. And also just like, I don't know, it's you have to have like a certain mind for it, really.
Yeah. I mean, or you have to have the certain mind for it. You definitely have to have the thick skin, and you have to have that ability to post it and ghost it.
Oh
Just
yeah.
put it on there and be like, I like that. Boom. On to the next one.
And people love to hate, but people also like to love. So you can get a lot of love, which I've been very grateful to have a lot of love. But recently, one day, in both the same day, I managed to piss off. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to curse. Okay,
You're fine.
okay. I managed to piss off the flower police and then some of the asphalt drivers in the same day. So I'm dealing with arguing with people about flowers. And then I was like, you know what? Okay, never mind. I do not care about this. And then there's some asphalt drivers, which we posted a video talking about bar cars, and like saying like, oh, who cares about dirt and everything. So it's like, I was like, okay, you know what? I just use it as entertainment at this point.
Yes.
So
Yes. Like I've had a couple. I'm still expanding, so I don't have the privilege of having too much hate right now because there's a lot of family and friends and a lot of big supporters that are subscribed in viewing it right now. So I don't have the privilege of having thousands and thousands of like opportunities to have hate. So it's for the most part really good, but I've had a couple of instances like, okay, you can't get involved in like trying to go back and forth with somebody. It's not even worth it.
oh
It's
yeah.
not
And
even.
sometimes too, like really, you do have to learn. And like I try to. Sometimes I just you just can't read your own comments. And I yell at my dad for this because he reads his comments. I'm like, Dad, dude, stop. Just let him like. Most people like if someone says something mean and it's like taking off a video. Some other person will go in there and argue for them, like with them, for no reason, like not even like they just decide to do it. So it's like sometimes you just gotta let it run by itself. Engagement is good engagement, no matter what.
Exactly. Like there's no such thing as bad publicity. Like
Yeah,
unfortunately, it's like if something takes off for the wrong reason, you're like it's taken off. Like
yeah.
the first thing you said is what's important, taking off.
Yeah, and me and my dad recently realized we did like a cold fire up on an engine and it sounded really good and everyone was like, that wasn't the first fire up and it was on dyno, but like it was first fire up for us. And we realized like maybe the way to win this all is just to rage bait. Like put something that like makes people mad on purpose and then create like discussion in the comments and whatever. I mean, the people that will like it will just like it and move on. The people that like, want to argue, they'll sit there and argue with you.
Oh yeah, I mean it's the same thing like somebody that has nothing better to do with their life and they wanted to just get on there and just create havoc. Those people are out there,
Oh yeah.
and they'll just do that. So you, excuse me, you got to be mindful of that. And like, no matter what, you're gonna have keyboard warriors for race cars, for flowers,
They exist.
for cold starts,
Oh yeah.
anything.
And like I'm very lucky because my dad raised me. He used to tell me something, and if you need to bleep it out, go for it. But he used to tell me, Sonny, do whatever you do in life, just don't be a do nothing bitch. And a DNV. And that just means don't sit there and do nothing and be mad at the world that you're sitting there doing nothing and that other people are doing good. And saying like, why doesn't that happen? Just go out there and make it yourself. As many if you keep trying and trying and trying, you're eventually gonna get something that grabs. And it might be something that you don't expect. I mean, really, I didn't expect people to be mad about flowers, but apparently people are. And I didn't expect to like I created this baseball thing because I'm kind of a nerd in that aspect too, and I didn't expect people to actually like it. So it's just like if you just keep trying and like sometimes you find your niche that wasn't really your niche, you'll eventually find something. And truly, like content creation right now, and even race car drivers, this is how you pick up like big like not like really deals, but this is how you pick up like big like sponsors or help or I mean really deals. I mean, I don't have that many followers on my like baseball thing, but I had two companies reach out and pay me to do videos for them. I was like, whoa, okay, well I guess we'll do that. And I've had some really cool stuff on the racing stuff, which I can't talk about now, but I'm pretty excited for it. That gets me because I'm just posting nonstop about random stuff that's going on. So I mean Instagram too, and I mean every like all the platforms right now are doing really good. Like they've totally like green lighted the reels, which is crazy. And like that they send it out. It's literally like magic. Create like a TikTok whatever, and you send it out, and it gives it to random people in your niche and sees if it works. And usually it does because it's your niche. So it's if it's something that you haven't tried as a race car driver, you got to try it.
Yeah, I mean, look at Tanner Holmes and look at who else is doing it? Tanner, uh, Caleb Montgomery.
Yeah.
They're killing it. Caleb Montgomery and Tanner Holmes. They do one video, one something, and they talk about a tech tip or this, that, the other, and then it's just like it takes off like wildfire.
I mean, you see what happened in NASCAR too. I mean, you get that guy. I forgot his name. Cletus.
Oh, Cletus McFarland.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's in NASCAR because he's been making YouTube videos, and I mean, I'm sure he's had a little bit of driving experience, but like,
Oh, he's a legit driver. I mean,
oh, yeah,
he just won a drag race. Like he's got the world's fastest radial car, 261 miles an hour. Like the whole, like he's
yeah.
legit.
But
But
he's like that. Content creation definitely helped him for sure.
100%. Yeah.
So you never know where it can take you as a driver, and if it doesn't work, you made something cool for yourself.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, that's one cool thing about like it seems like with you and your family and like pretty much always having the camera there or having something around like even on family trips and doing stuff. No matter what, even if that didn't take off for like the business or for content, it's like you guys have that stuff for your family. Like
Yeah.
you've got like the coolest 4K family trip videos out there. So I mean, that's I gotta justify that with my wife too. I'm like, hey, these cameras are like, if we have like family events or whatever, that's
You can write it off too. Just saying, you can write off your stuff. I figured out the loophole. I can write off my baseball cards.
well,
It's all it costs is a business license.
well, you do see it says LLC on everything, so
There you go. See,
it was. I mean, it was a smart decision. I mean, I was like, we're gonna do this. If you're gonna do it, just do it right. Do it right. Do it once, and then learn that mistake. We talked about that earlier as well. On buying some things where you should have spent a little bit more money in the upfront. In the beginning, I was like, okay, if I'm gonna start trying to make this into something, got to make it into an LLC and be legit right off the bat.
yeah,
So
exactly. And I mean, you never know where something can take you. And I mean, if something it doesn't work, I mean, all you can do is say you tried, and that's something. I mean, that's worth something.
that's more than 90% of people. They're like,
Yep.
man, I should have, if I would have, if I should have, if I could. I was like, just do it.
Just
Just
do it.
do it.
Just
Don't
do it.
make my mistake. If you want to do content or if you want to do videos, your phone is one of the best tools you got.
Well, yeah, 100%. I was looking at like some new GoPros, like even for like our race cars and stuff. And I was looking at stuff like, there's DJI, and I was looking at the cameras. I was like, wow, these are really nice. And then I looked at the comparison with the iPhone, like the new one. I was like, dude, I'm not gonna get a new camera and not be able to use it. I might as well get a new phone and just get a new phone in general with a nice camera.
Yes.
So it's hard to compete with that. And I know that's how my dad built up his business. He didn't bring a professional camera out there. He brought his like piece of junk iPhone 6 out there for videos, and it worked. So
Yeah. I mean, it's relatable, right? I mean, I think you have to being relatable is probably bigger than having the biggest, baddest 4K, this 8K, 10, whatever.
oh yeah.
I mean, I've got it, but that doesn't mean nothing. Like it that that's not the thing. The thing is the content itself, and and the people that you have on, and being relatable and being in the community. That was so cool about like Be Tough when it first started off. It was about the working guy, and Bakersfield is about we are the working county. We are the working place. So when he built that, it was so cool, and he still continues on, and you know does what he wants. He wants to get political, he gets political. If he wants to do this, he does that, and it
Yeah.
works. It's just like so cool. It's so cool.
And I'd love to be able to create something like that. I really like, the work hard, play hard, like the grittiness of like the original magazine. I think that's really cool. And like, I was like texting him, like, what if we created something like that again? He's like, no. So I already got this. So, it's really cool to be able to say that you've created something like that. And I hope someday that I can create something cool like that. And I'm trying, the key part is just not giving up. And when your back's against the wall, just keep chugging through it.
Well, and that was like one of my reasonings of having you on. Like one of the first persons to come on, like I said, for the big car stuff, is I think you are that person that is, you know, you're looked up to by a lot of people. You're looked up to by the young person, the girls, the young girls, the people that are even in content and watching content creation and just all the aspects of the things that you do is just like it's very admirable, very
Well,
admirable.
thank you. I appreciate that. I try. I think the reason why, like, I probably seem more approachable than a lot of people. I mean, a lot of race car drivers are approachable, but like, I'm kind of like I'm like like I said, I'm like a little bit different in the way that like I'm some girl that like I'm low key like mentally like 11. So like I'm not one of the kids that like one time I had this girl, her name is Emma, and she's super sweet. She's like, "Look, I caught this ladybug for you." I was like, "Let's go, you caught me a ladybug." I thought it was awesome. Like we were like talking about ladybugs while the cars were going around. It was great. So like I think it's also because like I'm still very much a kid. Like I still like I'm told like I'm very much a kid in like that way where it's like I think people think that like I'm not as like I'm not like intimidating to approach, and I think that's I try to talk, I try to make like every like little kid's experience cool. Like I always offer them, sit in the car because when like if somebody told me I like horses, if someone said, "Do you want to sit on my horse?" I'd be like, "Yes." So like the kids that like like race cars, they don't get that chance very often. So you might as well offer it. I mean,
Yeah.
all they can say is, "No, I'm scared." And some kids are like that. With our dream team program, which is I don't know if you remember that.
Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the special needs kids with special needs program to bring them into the pits and feel like what it's like to be on a team. A lot of that like was really cool to see because a lot of them have hyperfixations and a lot of them are on the movie's cars. So they come into the pits and like, "Oh my gosh, Lightning McQueen is real and he's right here." And some of them like they like are totally into it. I remember John Piker had one night and he was like jacking up the car. We have some rules where you can't like get under the car, no pouring gas, like nothing in harm's way, but like he was like totally into it and it was super cool to see. And like just like that like demographic too, like having more experiences with them is really cool. And we're gonna bump that up again this year, which I'm pretty excited about. Last year we had some difficulty because it's just me and my dad running it, and we were having a lot of issues on my car. So we knew every race we come out there, we'd be like, okay, what are we dealing with now? And it's hard. Like I remember when I totaled my car, we had one of the members of Dream Team on our team, and it was pretty rough because I'm trying to deal with my car that I have to get loaded up from Golden Empire because it doesn't fit on the trailer because it's twisted up so bad. And then also I want to make sure his time is great too. So it's hard sometimes, but it's really worth it. And I think like that type of stuff really does like it impacts both the driver and the kid, and it's also sometimes adults with special needs. Um so it's pretty cool, and I think like that really is an awesome like thing to bring to the racetracks, and maybe someday we could figure out how to bring it to Santa Maria. I'm sure they'd be game for that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they do so much over there. They do so much with worship
I thought that was
and
really cool.
everything, and
Yeah.
like it's family friendly. It's they're very in touch with God and everything over at Santa Maria, and so it's different, but it's so cool. And I guarantee they'd be more than welcome to have something like that,
Oh yeah.
and to host something like that, and to be a part of something like that. So I'm sure. I mean, we know the people who to talk to
Oh
over
yeah.
there, and
What
we.
are we doing? They're watching this like, hey, why aren't they just texting us instead?
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, that's such a great program, and but that's another thing that I mean, you guys do. That's why you guys are so successful at all this stuff, because you guys give back to the community. You give opportunities for less privileged people, and it's all genuine. It's all genuine. That's what's so cool about it.
Yeah, and it's just everybody needs something to you do your own stuff, but you also need something to make you like feel like what did I like achieve today? Like who did I help like make like help out today, or something like that. And that's kind of ours, like spreading some positivity and like that goes a long way. I remember we had this kid, he was on Jerry Flippo's team, I think. Or it might have been Troy Morris's, one of the modified drivers. It was Jerry Flippo. And he got a toy race car from his family, and he didn't really seem into it at the racetrack. He was like 11, and he was kind of like he had autism, so sometimes they're kind of standoffish at first, but when once they get warmed up, they'll like because you're a stranger, they're like, who is this
Yeah,
person? So once he got warmed up to the family, he was more hanging out with them, but he was still a little bit standoffish. And I was like thinking, it's like, did he have a good time? Because I couldn't tell, and I was hoping he did. And I got a message from the mom the next day, and she sent me a picture of him like lining up all his Hot Wheels in like the oval track thing, and that little modified Hot Wheel was there in front. And she said that like he had such a good time, and he will not stop talking about modifieds and all that, and he
that's
won't
too
stop
cool.
playing with the oval. I think that's super cool, and sometimes you impact people the way that you wouldn't expect, or like someone might not seem like they're having a great time, but really they are.
That's so cool. That's so cool. And I mean, just to do that, I mean, for one person, it's all worth it.
Oh yeah.
It's all worth it.
Yeah, that's a memory that they'll have forever, and I mean the racers will have it forever. I mean, it's something really cool, and I'm pretty excited about that. We're gonna bring. I actually went to the special needs prom, and I'm hoping to have my buddy Cecilia, which she's like a good friend of mine too, come on my team, and then we also have some other members who are wanting to come back. So it's gonna be exciting, and if any race car drivers are interested, let me know on Facebook or anything like that. I got some people wanting to come up, and I can take them on my team, but I want to spread the joy.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, guys, if you guys are interested at all, you guys know where to find her. She's doing so many cool things. I've had you here for a little over an hour now, so I want to definitely welcome you back anytime. I mean, we're just getting started right here. We're just getting started right here. We
It's
could
like an hour. We could keep going.
we could go for hours and days. We could go forever. But I mean, we do have lives outside of this. I know you got editing to do. I've got some more editing to do, and we've got, you know, all that stuff. I'm just thinking about it right now. I'm just having a like brain fog of
Oh, I know.
all the stuff to come. But I want to make sure we get this out tonight as well and get it out to people. But you're definitely going to be a regular on this
Let's
if you
do
want
it.
to be, because this is we've got it. We've got the stuff. Let's use it.
Let's do it. I'm excited to be back, so just let me know. I'll be here.
Perfect. Sunnie Simkins, thank you so much. This is your boy John Candy, Sunnie Simkins, signing out right here, John Candy Live.
Thank you for having me.
Lights on the lens, engines ignite, chasing shadows through the night. Dirt tracks whisper stories untold, Friday nights burning bright.